With the new NRL season coming up, why not take a look at all the teams and rank their halves players? But before we start, please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Number 16 is the Gold Coast Titans with Ash Taylor and Toby Sexton. I'm basing this list off NRL experience and experience in the position. Heading into the season, Sexton has only played 4 games of NRL where he looked pretty good. In his debut game, he scored a try and kicked 5 from 5 goals and 1 from 1 penalty goals. He would also take 19 runs, getting 161 run meters with 2 offloads, 1 line break and 20 tackles. It is safe to say it's going to be a bright future ahead for him, but for now he remains inexperienced while his partner AJ Brimson is still unproven at the 5'8" role. Number 15 is the Dragons with Ben Hunt and Talatau Amone. It feels weird putting Ben Hunt in a list this low, but compared to the other halves pairings, this is the weakest one. In a couple of years, just like the Titans, this duo could be dangerous, but this list is for this year, and for now they are 15th. Number 14 is the West Tigers with Luke Brooks and Jackson Hastings. The Tigers players say that Luke Brooks has really improved, but they say that every year, so I'm not buying it. But for Jackson Hastings, they say he's looking to take his game to a whole new level, and he's the only reason that they aren't lower on this list. But the lack of chemistry they have together is the reason they're not higher on the list. Number 13 is the Bulldogs with Matt Burton and Kyle Flanagan or Jake Gavrilo. Trent Barrett said he's going to give Kyle Flanagan the first opportunity at halfback. So with that being said, Kyle Flanagan is in for a really big season in my opinion. He had a great season in 2020 with a stronger Rooster forward pack, but this year he actually has a strong forward pack with Tavita Pangai Jr., Luke Thompson, Josh Jackson, Paul Vaughan, Raymond Fatalo-Mariner and a couple younger guys running behind him. And for Matt Burton, he will be going into a similar position, and I think he'll have an off season. I mean, look how he played for the Panthers when they versus the Tigers. He was terrible. I'm not saying the Bulldogs are a reserve grade team, but they aren't much better than one. Number 12 is the Knights with Jake Clifford and Adam Clune. Putting them here is me being really generous, and if you ask other people, they will probably put them last. But I'm a big fan of Jake Clifford, and Adam Clune can do the job on his day. I just couldn't put them under Toby Sexton and AJ Brimson, because they don't have any experience in their position. You could put Ben Hunt and Talatau Amone over them, and the more I think about it, I want to swap them. Adam Clune hasn't really gotten a go at the Dragons, with Corey Norman there and the young guys Amone and Sullivan taking his spot, but when he did play, he made the most of it. Number 11 is the Sharks with Matt Moylan and Nicho Hynes. The reason they are this low is because Nicho Hynes is more of a fullback than a 5'8", and Matt Moylan is also more of a fullback rather than a half. So the lack of leadership really hurts their ranking in my list. It's a pick and choose between Moylan and Trindle for the halfback spot, and maybe even Connor Tracy or Luke Metcalf get a go as a halfback in the year. I personally have Moylan starting at halfback in round 1, but if Moylan doesn't play that well or gets injured like he always does, I definitely put Trindle there. Number 10 is the Cowboys with Chad Townsend and Scott Drinkwater. These two aren't that good, with Scott Drinkwater having a bad year last year, but I believe he will take his game to the next level, especially with the experience he has in the halves with him of a premiership winning halfback in Chad Townsend, and he's being mentored by one of the game's best ever halfbacks, Jonathan Thurston. Chad Townsend will have to be a lot better than he was last year with the pressure of Tom Dearden is going to put on him. Number 9 is Broncos with Adam Reynolds and Tyson Gamble. Putting Adam Reynolds this low feels like a crime, but coming to a new team, pairing with new halves partners, I don't know how well they'll complement each other, and they have no chemistry together, but I love Tyson Gamble's energy, and I think he will pair well with Adam Reynolds. Tyson Gamble isn't really the best fit with Adam Reynolds, because Reynolds does really well with a ball runner other than another playmaker. Number 8 is the Rabbitohs with Cody Walker and Lachlan Ilias. Just like the Broncos, there is a star player and a young one who's still learning. Lachlan Ilias has played one game in his career where he scored a try, made 20 tackles and only missed 5, making his tackle percentage at 80%. He had 14 runs, running 78 metres with 6 kicks and 30 kick metres. We all know how good Cody Walker is, and I think Walker will really help and reach Lachlan Ilias a lot, and in a couple of years will cement his starting spot in first grade, especially with Cody Walker being a lot older and will probably retire in the next couple of years. Number 7 is the Warriors with Sean Johnson and Ash Taylor. I know Ash Taylor isn't confirmed to play in round 1 with him on a train and trial deal, but I got him starting at 5'8" in round 1, so I included him in this list. The Warriors are really high on this list considering these two haven't played a game together, but the experience they have is unmatched, with a combined of 321 games played, which is the most in the league. The leadership these two have will help Reece Walsh reach his full potential. Number 6 is the Roosters with Luke Keary and Sam Walker. Sam Walker may be too young to be this high on the list, but when you watch his games last year, you probably wouldn't look at him as a rookie. Just to think, he's only 19 and still has 25 plus years in him. By the time his career is done, he'll probably be up there with the Johns brothers and Thurston. It's a big call, but the level and skill he played with last year was with a fringe first grader, and now he has the leadership of Keary. The league should really watch out for him. Number 5 is the Eels with Mitchell Moses and Dylan Brown. Mitchell Moses had a better year last year that people aren't giving him credit for because of what happened in Origin, which I don't agree with him being selected, but he still had a relatively good season. And for Dylan Brown, he needs to bounce back this season, and if he doesn't, he needs to get out of para and go to a new club. Number 4 is the Raiders with Jack Wyson and Jamal Fogarty. Jamal Fogarty is going to a new team. I think he'll need to prove a lot with George Williams leaving. He has big shoes to fill. With Jack Wyson having an off season last year, I think he will have a better season and get back into the Daily M 5A of the Year conversation and back to Origin to play all 3 games. Number 3 is the Seagulls with Daly Cherry Evans and Kieran Foran. These two are the most experienced halves in the game, with Daly Cherry Evans playing 261 games, with 16 of them for Queensland and 15 for Australia, and Kieran Foran playing 238 games, 22 of them are for New Zealand. Last year they had a great year, combining for 13 tries, 38 try assists and 37 line break assists. Number 2 is the Storm with Jerome Hughes and Cameron Munster. Jerome Hughes took his game to a new whole level last year, and we just have to expect the same form from him this year. But it will take him a few weeks to get back into his best, while Cameron Munster, Brandon Smith and Harry Grant being out for the first 3 rounds. Cameron Munster had a down season last year, but I believe he will take his motivation and really have a good season, leading the Storm to another grand final. Number 1 is the Panthers, with Nathan Cleary and Jerome Luai. Nathan Cleary is en route to becoming the greatest of all time if he keeps up his form. He's only 23 and he's already played 120 games, scoring 46 tries, and already 10 Origin games, and already playing the quality of an Australian halfback. Last season, he played 20 games, scoring 10 tries and 21 try assists. Last season, Jerome Luai played 25 games, scoring 2 tries and 19 try assists, with 2 games for New South Wales Blues. That's the end of this list. If you disagree with any of these teams, please let me know in the comments.